Good morning, everybody. I am super excited this morning to have my friend Amanda on the show. You might have seen me on her podcast, or heard me, not seen me, where I was sharing tips about getting started in real estate. And she also has a really exciting way that she's using her personal real estate to finance something in her lifestyle that's important. So if you haven't already checked that out, I encourage you to go do that. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Megan. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So what I'll do is I'll just turn it over to you so you can give us a little bit of an introduction on who you are, what your background is, um, how you work with people, and how you help them.
Yes, awesome. So, like Megan said, I'm Amanda Texera, and my husband and I, we have a business called WalletWin, and we help people get out of debt, build wealth, and change the world through generosity. And it kind of was an accidental calling in our lives, and it was really born out of our own story of getting married, tallying up all the debt, realizing it was over $25,000. Most of it was my husband's. I like to give him the old elbow on that. um, and we had a fight on our honeymoon
Oh
that was
no.
on a credit card. And I kind of like freaked out because the bill came due and we didn't know how we were going to pay for it. Anyway, we scrambled and it was really stressful. And we came home from the honeymoon and realized, whoa, this is not how we want to live our marriage. And we had a small income at the time, Megan. We were fundraising with a nonprofit organization. So we had a $35,000 take home pay, which was small. And we had $25,000 in debt. And we just looked at the numbers and it was like, well, we can either pay this off and actually have somewhat of a life, or we can kind of always live this mediocre existence, sort of paying off debt, but really not doing anything else.
Yeah, that terrible hamster wheel.
Yes. So we were just like, you know what? Let's just go all in and just get this done and just get on with the rest of our lives. It's going to be a blip in the rest of our, in our marriage. So let's make this a fun game almost. So it was a uniting force for us. And we sat down, made our first budget. We were terrible at budgeting. I budgeted like $60 for groceries for the month, which is like, that's one grocery trip. And, but we kept getting better every single month. And our budget allowed us to, scrape up as much as we could of our income and extra money we were making to throw at the debt. And we actually got it all paid off in 7.5 months' time, which was crazy how we were able to do it so fast. But we wanted to just lock in, get it done, and then move on with our lives. Mm-hmm. And so that was back in 2012. We're coming up on our debt-free anniversary on August 15th. And ever since that time, when we closed the door on debt, we just kind of took that same passion and zeal and we applied it to savings and investing and giving. And probably within like 6 months of becoming debt free, friends started to say, what did you do? Like, can I come over? Can you guys tell me? Can you share? So we started meeting with people at our dinner table. Then it was, come on our podcast. Then it was, can you come speak at this event? And it just kind of kept spiraling. It was finding us. We weren't seeking anything out. And then eventually our family began to grow and our time began to shrink. Mm-hmm. And we just felt this tear of like, we want to help people. We love it. We never charged anybody. We just did it because we loved it. But we really don't have the time we used to. Mm-hmm. And right when we were feeling this pull, we were meeting with somebody at our kitchen table. And at the end of it, he pulled out his checkbook, wrote us a check. I tried to give the money back. And he was like, no, if I apply even 2% of what you guys just taught me, I'm going to be just fine in my life. So you take it. And that's when things clicked and we just realized, okay, I think we've got a thing here, a gift of being able to explain money and make it easy and also fun, because my husband is a total weirdo. He likes to make things super fun. And so just from that point, we thought, okay, let's take the gig online. And we started helping people in late 2017 officially under our company WalletWin. And we've been able to work with hundreds of people ever since that time in our course and in our membership, and thousands of people just online.
Oh my goodness. I just love the whole concept of how you helped yourself get out of the situation that you guys were in, and now helping others just get out of debt, but also build wealth and just change their world and other people's world through generosity. It's just something that is just very uplifting. I think a lot of people not only stress about the debt that they have, like you guys, on the honeymoon, but also about, they are on that hamster wheel where they tackle some of the debt, but just to get more debt, like they've reduced it just to make room to do another purchase or just to have another whoopsie doopsie. So just as soon as they feel like they're getting ahead, something pops up and then bites them. When people like that you are helping, and before and now, just approaching you to say, like, how did you do it, or what should I do next? What's the biggest tip that you give them?
Oh gosh, I mean, it really can be so individualized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people come into their relationship with money from a different background and a different story. But that's oftentimes where we encourage people to start, is really examining their beliefs, their mindset, their relationship with money, their emotions when they hear the word money, just kind of their emotional baggage, if you will, like what they're bringing to the table. Because until you can kind of unpack and articulate how they relate with money, you can't really devise a plan forward. And that can be different for every individual person. And then when you have two married people coming together, that's oftentimes like a place of conflict because they never really identified what that was individually, let alone together.
Mm.
So we really encourage people to sit down and do kind of journaling and asking some of those deeper questions of, what was money like growing up? What was my family's situation? How was money talked about? What kind of phrases got tossed around? What shaped my money mindset and how I think about it? Just kind of getting that starting point is huge. And then that next logical step is to actually know the numbers and face the music. And it's astonishing. I mean, for us, we had no idea we were $25,000 in debt. In our heads, it was like, I got a student loan or two. And a lot of people, this is their story. I was just on a podcast last week where she was sure she only had about $7,000 on credit cards. But then, when her fiance asked her to really dig into the numbers, it was $23,000
Oh.
on all the credit cards. And it happens because if your brain isn't actively knowing the numbers, you can kind of start to minimize things and forget.
I think that's a default for a lot of people, is we want to protect ourselves, so we put on some sort of blinders that are
Yes.
kind of half blinding you. So you can say, like, yeah, I have debt. It's only about, I don't know, $7,000, because you've acknowledged that there is something there, but not all of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or really taking a look and seeing what the opportunity cost involved is. A lot of people are like, it's fine. I've got, $10,000 on of debt, but they never stop to think, like, if that wasn't there, what else could they have said yes to?
I love
Debt
that. Yeah.
ties your money up in the past. When you're debt free, your money can be used right now and in the future. And that's the big divider between someone who's going to be broke and stressed their whole life and someone who's going to be at peace and wealthy and able to give. Just, deciding that that's not the way I'm going to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Income's going to work for me, not for Visa. But it can be so hard because the culture is buy, get.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, like, this person went on this trip, that person has this shoe. And it's just it's pushed at us, constant advertisements, but we have to almost protect our income. And that's where creating a budget is so helpful, because then you're deciding proactively how you want your money to be spent. And when those temptations come up to purchase something, you look at the budget that you created when you were in a clear state of mind And if the money's there, awesome, make the purchase. And if
Mm-hmm.
not, move on.
Right. So in terms of the budget, what are some key factors you think are crucial when you're creating the budget and then actually sticking to the budget?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that you kind of divided those two into separate categories, because I think a lot of people will create the budget and then they feel good about that and they think they're budgeting because they actually created it. But that's not budgeting. That's just an ideal piece of paper or whatever it is. Like, you have to use it throughout the month. So for creating it, we encourage people to have a budget party and to make it fun. We encourage them to bring their favorite snack, their favorite drink, and to sit down and really make it a positive event, not like I gotta go get my budget done, like this ho-hum, like I'm bored and it's restrictive, but to view it as like, yes, like this is what I get an inch closer to my goals, and my budget's gonna help me do that. And you see it as a friend and an ally, and you make it a party. Then after you create that, according to your goals and values at that moment with your finances, then it's using like we recommend using YNAB. You need a budget. There's lots of different apps, paper and pen, heck, whatever you're going to use is the best budget tool. But we love YNAB because it's so easy and seamless, and most people can keep up with it. So something that's going to be easy for you to not only, for us, so I'm about to go into the grocery store, I can just pull up, see what's available, and then I know, all right, I've got about this available, or if I'm going to order online, I know kind of what's there. Then you make the purchase informed with what's going on in your budget, and then usually when I'm in the checkout line, I just pull it back out, boop, 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 or it auto syncs, and then that's it. And so you're using the budget throughout the month to inform your spending, and then you're tracking it. Or if you have the auto syncs turned on, it's tracking for you. So it's even easier.
Yeah.
You just have to go in and click yes to the things that have come through.
Yes.
So finding something that's easy. I mean, so there are some people that are going to need that paper and pen, but that's not most people. Because most people are never going to like pull out the cash and get the change and count it out. While like 10 people are in line behind you at the grocery store, and you're all stressed out because you feel like you're holding everybody up. And you're like mentally getting angry at everybody behind you. Yeah, I've been there.
Sweat. Plus, your kids might be starting to cry, and they're asking for all the candy bars in the.
Yeah, you're like trying to do math on the back of the envelope. Like, no, don't do it.
Okay, so I love, because I'm that same way where something has to be easy, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. I might have the best of intentions, but if something's not easy, I don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to stick to it. So I think that's super, super valuable. And like by using the systems and tools that you have already kind of played with and manipulated and tried, it just helps with the ease of everything, where I don't have to go ahead and go on Google and say budgeting apps or budgeting tools. I can just say, you know what, this has worked for Amanda. She paid off that crazy amount of debt in that short amount of time, and if she can do it, I can probably do it too. And I think that's super important. Okay, so but you're not the only piece of the puzzle here. So I'm wondering, is this something that just came easy to both of you, or were you always in the same mindset? Like, what about Jonathon? What about your husband? Was there struggles, bumps? Was everything easy? Tell me a little bit about that.
So actually, the conversation about money began early in our engagement, and I was kind of urging for like, hey, let's get this debt paid off. But he was resistant and like, no, it's not a big deal. Let's not think about it. Like, he avoided big time and resisted, and like every book I gave him, he'd just blow off. And I kind of was like, well, whatever, we'll get married and we'll deal with it and we'll figure it out. You won't be able to avoid me then. So no, it was not easy at first, but I think I was also approaching it of like we're doing this, blah, blah, blah. I was not like, hey, let's dream about our life together in a positive way. And then let's like craft a plan on how to get there. Bringing him on board, it was me, a runaway train trying to do something. And that's not good ever. So when spouses really dream together, that's the easiest way to get them on the same page and wanting to do a budget if one of them's resistant or to pay down debt. When you can decide together what your life would look like if you got money working for you, that's the easiest starting point for married couples. But then temperamentally, I tend to be kind of like more just a very laser and focused person. So it did come easier of like, this is the mission. I am on this. Mm-hmm. Whereas my husband is a little more like, okay, I'm on the mission, but a sale. Ooh, like, he's more of that like free spender and the free spirit kind of guy. So it was tough for him. And there were many times when we were getting out of debt that, he had to resist and find something else to do. But it was so good for him because I think sometimes I know I've felt like this in the past, like in order to have fun or to enjoy yourself, you have to spend money. And just tearing that belief up and for a season deciding to say, nope, I'm going to find things to do that don't cost. That was so good, healthy for him as a spender to realize emotional, the core of his being, to realize that he doesn't have to spend to have a fulfilling, joyful life. And that would really kind of set him free.
Isn't that interesting? I find that so that because I always say most relationships, there's a saver and there's a spender, and they kind of balance each other out, because when you're the saver, which is me,
that's
you almost become the fun police. So you don't want to do the thing because it's going to cost money and deviate you from your goal. And when you do the thing, like if you do the thing that costs money that you didn't really want to do in the first place, you aren't fully present and enjoying it because you feel guilty. Mm-hmm. And so the balance is having that spender where you can look at them and they are just oblivious to the weight of the money spent because they're just fully present in the moment. And I think that's in the moment, it can feel like a curse, but it's actually a blessing. Because if you were both the savers and not the free spirits, then it would feel so heavy all the time. You'd just be trudging away instead of, like you said, dreaming together. Like, I think that's super important and something that can feel heavy at times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think, for example, a way that's Jonathon's spending nature has come out in a good way for us. Just for example, it's kind of a recent one. I had a lot of stressful things going on that week. And we were like out of groceries, and we were preparing for a big trip. So I couldn't even get out to the grocery store, and it was nap time, and I hadn't eaten like all day. And I called him like super low blood sugar, shaking, and like, yelling at him or something. He's like, okay, this is just low blood sugar.
You're hangry.
And I was like, I'm just going to go like, I don't know, eat an egg or something. Like 20 minutes later, ding dong. It was Chipotle delivery from DoorDash. And, I ate the meal. I recovered. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm me again. Called him and was just like, thank you. Because as the saver, I have this thing in my head sometimes that's like, I can't, no spending money on, especially if it's just on me. If it benefits other people, all right. But if it's just for me, I struggle to actually spend. And he saw in that moment, like, no, it's just money, and you need sanity and a little bit of a break, and you need food. So it can be that balance, right? Like my tendencies were actually sabotaging me in the moment. He balanced that out.
Oh, I love that. I think that's super important. And just to take the moment to reflect that is is something that you would never do for yourself because you have that mindset kind of boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. That's beautiful. Okay, so now I want to get you to tell us a little bit about what you have in the works to help people who are ready to get started in this, getting out of debt, building wealth, and just changing the world with generosity. So tell me a little bit about what you're working on.
So every year we have a live workshop. It's called the WalletWin Workshop, and we're starting it actually August 1st is when the first video drops. There's 3 video trainings that are going to come out over that first week and a half of the workshop. And we're going to help people find ways to save or make $1,000 in under 30 days. And if people really put the pedal to the metal and they implement everything, they could probably get it done in a week. So we're going to help you find money or make money. In that second video, we're going to help people pay off their debt faster by figuring out a game plan that actually works with their brain and helps them get an organized plan of attack. And so in the workshop, some people might be able to even make a dent in the debt that they have. So that's huge. And then in the third video, we're going to talk about our financial transformation blueprint. So basically the blueprint that we've used ourselves over the last 8 years, we have put it into a PDF document and we're giving that to people. They're going to be able to download it and basically identify where they are on the journey with their finances and figure out what their next exact best step is. Because you can't just bite off the whole thing overnight. Personal finance mastery can take a lifetime. And, so we help people identify where they are on the path and kind of what that one next step is instead of trying to figure out what the next 10 steps are. Because that can be overwhelming. Yeah. And at the end of the workshop, we are going to kick open doors to our signature program, WalletWin. If people are ready to say, no, this year is the year for me. I'm getting my money working for me, and I'm going to implement all of this, and I'm going to come out the other side of this year on top, seeing my money working for me and not somebody else. So we're going to do all of that in the next couple of weeks in the workshop.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to join the workshop in the comments. Just click the link, sign up. You'll honestly have nothing to lose just to be able to, accelerate that. I mean, $1,000 is a lot of money. So accelerate that $1,000 savings step. Make a dent in your debt. Love that. And then the exact template blueprint that you guys are using and have gotten success from. I mean, I don't see anything to lose here. So I just also want to let people know that if they sign up using this link, I want to provide something of value to them in addition to, saving the $1,000, making a dent, and getting the blueprint. So make sure to use that link. And in the fall, I have something super special to be able to provide to you. And I just think that this is a mission that has helped so many people. And I mean, when you're not worried about your money, so many other doors can open up for you. Like, I feel like financial stress is super heavy, and it kind of can trickle into all the other facets of your life, like relationships, your career. It just, when you're not worried about it, it just can add so much more breath to your life. Right. So having that one thing off the table is just, it sounds like one thing, but it's actually so many more things.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone sign up. I'll see you. I'm going to do it too. I mean, just because I am in this space doesn't mean I know everything and I can't take tips and tricks that other people have benefited from. So I'm going to do it too. I'm excited to see everybody there. Thank you so much, Amanda. I think that this is going to be a great way to start the back to school season. And thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I'll see y'all in the workshop.
Okay, take care.